All right, guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Assess. Today, we're going to be talking about something kind of different than we normally talk about. We're going to kind of talk about me and AJ and what we're going through and just some random thoughts on this year. As a lot of you know, the snow is terrible so far. That's supposed to change here pretty soon. But for the new year, we just decided to kind of talk about just kind of what we're doing, what our goals are, and some stuff like that.
Look, I don't want to talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft.
All right, guys, welcome back. So, like we just talked about, we're just going to kind of jump right in and just kind of speak from the heart, if you will, on just some things that we're kind of going through personally when it comes to content, when it comes to snowmobiling, when it comes to, I mean, it's kind of a mind game for us at this point. You have so much anticipation for a winter, and I think a lot of you guys are like this. You have so much anticipation. You've invested so much money and time, and just you think about it every day. And for the snow to be this bad, it's all over the West, I know. But it really is kind of on a more serious level for guys like us. It really sucks because it kind of kills all your plans. So we're just going to talk about it kind of and just a couple different other different things.
All right, guys, what's up? Yeah, thanks for tuning in again and following us on this journey. And like Brent said, we're going to just dive into a bunch of different stuff here. First off, though, if you're liking what you're seeing, like, subscribe, follow us on social medias, and just support us in that way, and that helps us a ton. So thank you. But yeah, I mean, he kind of got into it there. Like, our snow is just not good this year. It's January 4th when we're shooting this.
Yep.
And we have a storm on the way, and hopefully it delivers the goods. But even if it does deliver a lot of snow, it's not going to be enough to like get rid of the worry of still snapping arms on rocks and stuff like that. It's going to help. I mean, anything's going to help at this point, but it is so terrifying out there right now that, I mean, I don't even want to go ride this weekend. It's not worth it's. I mean, I've got my braking miles in. I'm just sitting here waiting on snow essentially. So, and it's hard because with content, we had such a buildup. We had so many plans. We were like excited and ready. And we planned that in like June and July to be ready to like start busting stuff out for you guys in like November, early November. Like, we were wanting to be like on the road, getting content, doing podcasts, like we were going to go crazy. And it's now early January and we haven't been able to do anything. It's just, there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. I mean, I think Alaska is the only place I've seen with snow that looks halfway decent.
Yeah. Which with working 6 days a week for me is not necessarily realistic, but, yeah, it's not, I don't know if it's great up there, even up there. I think it's rideable, but to put into perspective, we went on the first ride that we're actually kind of goofing around. I bent my tunnel first wheelie.
Yep.
And then we go out the next time and our buddy Tony puts 2 tracks in the side of the hill. And I went up to him, I'm like, bro, you feel any rocks under there? And he's like, no. I go and look at his tracks, no rocks. So I go in between those 2 tracks, go to do a re-entry, pop a rock, come flying off the rock, come down and land on another rock. So, I mean, yeah, it's discouraging. It's still fun to go up and pull wheelies in meadows, but it's kind of hard to put into perspective because, like, since we started social media, and obviously we've just kind of recently started the podcast, but, like, speaking on Instagram, it was always just like, we're just going to document stuff. And like, if people want to follow, that's so awesome. But if they don't, it's kind of for us. And over these past couple of years, it's turned into like, especially for me, I really, really enjoy doing content. Like, I love doing content. I love doing it almost as much as writing sometimes. And so it's like this pressure for me, and I guess for all of us,
yeah,
when it's like, snowmobiling is so seasonal that it's like by this time last year we had 10 solid days under our belt. I'd ridden like 15 times by January 1st of last year.
I think I had like 800 miles on by now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah. And we're going after work in the dark. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And I mean, I don't want to get too negative. Winter's obviously not over, and January, it looks like from some of the more reliable weather stations, it's supposed to start producing. I know Utah, it's showing that they're going to get a lot of snow. If some state around us gets a lot of snow, I mean, I'd be willing to drive and go to that snow. It's just the problem is nowhere. I've ridden a couple places around, Northwest Colorado, and there's no snow anywhere. And everyone that I talk to says there's no snow. So,
and when you look at like the ski resorts, where we're at here located, and Steamboat is the most open ski resort in the nation. And yeah, it's just not rideable snow.
Not for a snowmobiler, at least. So on to the content thing. So if some of you probably don't know this, I've been doing Instagram for like four years. I think this is going on 4 years. And each year I kind of take it more seriously just because I start to enjoy it more and more and more. And so this year is supposed to be pretty serious. I was going to actually like grind content, and that'll happen eventually.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It'll happen.
But it is like, just sitting here on the 4th of January, it's tough because it's like, dude, like it's like we were talking about, we had plans to go to 3 different places by now, and there's a half an inch of snow where we're going to go.
Exactly. Yeah. You couldn't even ride a snowmobile there right now.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it. So
I was going to say, like, me taking it more seriously, I want to get in with AJ. Like, I was going to talk to him about this off camera, but I thought it might be good for all you guys, because I know a lot of you guys in the DMs and stuff are starting content and thinking about doing it, because as snowmobilers, that's kind of what you do, because that's the only way you can show people what you do. And we're just going to talk about, like, what is your plan? And I don't know this. I'm asking this for the first time. What is your plan, like, short term, other than the podcast, obviously? And then what is your kind of plan long term? Like, where do you see your content going? And just speak on that. I don't want to get too specific.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of dive into that a little bit. I'll start at the beginning here, and then we'll go from there. Me and Brent grew up same town, everything like that. If you guys have followed us along, we kind of started riding together last winter. I liked what he did with social media and stuff like that, and that was kind of how we met through. I mean, our whole entire relationship was just that part of it, and I fell in love with like what he was doing. So that's something I wanted to bring into my scope of things that I do through the winter, right? I wanted to have a camera. I wanted to be able to edit. I wanted to be able to, have social media posts, stuff like that. YouTube intrigues me. I don't know if that's something long-term. Right now, it's not in my main scope plan. Like, I think growing on social media, Instagram, Facebook is where I need to like focus my efforts right now, just with where I'm at in life, building a business and et cetera in the industry. So with that being said,
and by that you mean like, hate to interrupt, but by that you mean like time? Like, it's just YouTube takes a lot more time.
It takes a lot of time.
Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of time, and time as in like getting the content, editing the content, posting the content, right? Like those, all 3 of those for YouTube takes so much more time than like a quick reel on Instagram or something like that. I feel like I can bust out a reel a night or something, like after riding or after work or whatever, to keep that growth rolling, but not so much like I'd like to start dipping my toes in YouTube at some point. And I've kind of like just been dabbling around with it, getting familiar with the site, but not like, it's not in my intentions right now to like get a YouTube channel up and going. So with that being said, 100% honest, guys, like I dove deep this summer and bought a camera. I got a Sony A7S4.
A7 IV.
Oh, A7 IV. There we go.
Same thing.
It's a camera. Brent told me what to buy. So, I mean, I think like by the time I got like SD cards and all that stuff, like $4,000 into this camera, right? And then it's like, oh, and now you have this massive file that you can't edit on your Dell laptop anymore. So you got to go buy a mega laptop to be able to run the software. So then you're $3,500 into a laptop that's not a current year model or anything like that, which is fine. Like, I'm literally learning. So it's just something to get my feet wet. But also I wanted something good enough that I wasn't going to be like pissed off at the world. So here I am, like $7,500 into content making stuff. Which, now, don't get me wrong, I spent that money because this is something I enjoy and this is something I wanted to do. So it's not like, is it like, oh my God, poor me. But now it's January and we haven't even got to like, I haven't even took my camera out really, you know, like the little times we rode, we've just taken your stuff out. And I mean, I took my camera with once, but it's not even worth, like the riding hasn't been worth packing 3 cameras. I mean, we haven't even been able to do like a vlog style YouTube video for you or anything like that. So with that, like that's what got me to the point where we are today. That is what I want to do. I want to grow on social media. I want to have a following on there. I want to entertain and then hopefully push that towards my business. My business is Powderbound Adventures.
So that's your main goal.
My main goal is to grow an audience to see Powderbound Adventures and show what we're doing.
Okay.
And then get like, we want to provide an experience there. We don't want to just provide like a money grab or like go to the resort town and like it's something for people to do when they're there, if they're like vacationing. I want people like actual snowmobilers that want to snowmobile to come out and snowmobile with us so we can show them the terrain we have, you know, safety aspect, whatever that may be. That's what I want to do with my business. So I want to show that to the world and advertise like real life advertising and show them through that, you know, with my camera that way.
Dude, I mean, that's the thing is like what people don't understand, in my opinion, about the whole business thing. Like, unless it's, you know, there's certain businesses that maybe aren't geared for social media.
Yeah.
Like, say you had an oil field company, you probably don't need to be big on social media for that.
Yep.
But the thing that's crazy to me now is social media is what drives people to businesses more than anything else now.
Yeah.
Like these people have a ton of followers. Every business they start goes, you know, to the moon.
Yep.
And it might not even be that great of a product, but I think you're onto something with saying like, you know, I need social media to have a successful business. I think a lot of people, I don't want to get too much into the business thing, that we could do another episode, but I think the social media thing for all of you guys, whether you're, you know, you love archery hunting or you love riding razors or you love whatever, like literally whatever you love, taking pictures, whatever, I think you can find more success than you probably would think in social media. It's going to take a while, and dude, not gonna lie, it's tough. Like doing social media for a long time is a mind game and it's tough, but to me at least, it's all paid off. And I think that with you, that would be the ticket to like blow up the business, you know?
Well, it's got to be something that's intriguing to you, I think, right?
Yeah.
But then some of these things, it's a necessity, and I feel like it's a necessity for me. Luckily, I'm intrigued with it, and like it's something I've had fun with up until this point, and like the learning process of it, like I'm thoroughly enjoying that. But I agree, it's social media. I can't go put an ad in the newspaper and expect to get business from that, right? Like I just physically cannot do that. It will get me absolutely nothing. Same with like a magazine or any, like the ways people used to, or the way they did advertise, you know, like it's not that way anymore. So social media is where I have to be. And I think this is my stepping stones to that. But to do that, like it's expensive. Like I can't hire a photographer or not, videographer to come out and film me. And then like let them edit it and all that. Like,
did you hear me?
No,
I'm like, no, you could never afford me.
Yeah,
I
no,
charge
exactly,
you like $5 million a day.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
If I had to pay your hourly rate, I'd be buried right now.
No, if you paid my hourly rate, it'd be like $3 an hour.
I'm in the negative.
$3 an hour and a freaking cigarette. You know? I'm just kidding.
No, that's got to be Brad.
Yeah.
No. So like, that's where like I invested the money into it. Like it's going to eventually pay off for me is my hope, right? Like that money was invested to hopefully pay off for me. And I mean, worst case scenario, I come out of it with a camera and a laptop, and I'm happy with that just for my personal stuff.
So what's kind of your plan to like get it going and grow? So if you guys don't know, he was doing some stuff on his personal page that we flashed on all the podcasts. We'll have it up here. And now, you know, we've been talking, he's kind of doing a snowmobile centric page, if you will. Like all snowmobiling, right? That's what it's going to be.
Yep. So it's going to be all snowmobiling on that page. That's what it is going to be. Like that is what my business is backcountry guiding. So in order to have that audience that is interested in my business. That is going to be my audience of snowmobiling. I'm not going to be posting about going on a trip to Mexico or anything on that, like on that page. That page is going to be specifically snowmobile stuff. I want to overload my computer with content. That way I have plenty to post through the summer, fall, whatever, and have content that is snowmobile. So that'll be a snowmobile specific page. And it's the same name as the business. It's Powderbound Adventures. So it's on Facebook and Instagram.
So get a little more into like the business side of things. What's kind of your vision for that?
Yeah. So my vision, like this year, honestly, I didn't have the plan, like to be sitting here right now saying that we're open for business. I never thought that would happen. Like, cause I had to apply for Forest Service permits. I've got some other stuff that I'm working on, like trying to grow like a bigger permitted area. And I never would have, like, I had zero intention of being open this year. And I've already got a couple clients booked to come ride this winter. So
that's badass.
I never like, I mean, I was figuring out like the insurance I needed and all the like learning all the stuff that I was going to need to do it legally. And that's my biggest thing with it is I wanted to do it legally. I don't want to be, you know, someone that, you know, oh, I already booked a couple people and then I can't go because, you know, I don't have a permit or whatever. Like I was not going to go down that road. So
yeah,
I learned that process and luck. I mean, I just pure luck. Like I was able to fall into a permit and I have a permit now. So like I never thought that was going to happen. So like we're offering just guided tours. Like you bring your own snowmobiles and then we take you out for now. If you needed, like if you have a dude that's coming out with you that needs a sled, like we could supply a sled or two or something like that. Like we were willing to make that work for this year. But my goal would be for next year, I want to have, you know, a deal with either BRP or Polaris or somebody to have at least 10 snowmobiles to be able to have like people that could fly out. I've got sleds ready for you. You show up and, you know, we just take you out riding from there.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that's at. And then I feel like the social media is, you know, this is our year to grow our social media, to get an audience, to, you know, be interested in our business and then hopefully connect with you guys. Something kind of like what me and you have talked about is, you know, doing a couple ride days. And
yeah, we've talked about that.
You know, hopefully like we can have you guys come out and ride with us. And then, you know, I'm permitted now to where we can do that legally even. We don't even have to like fly under the radar. We could fully announce like doing a ride day. You know?
So by the ride day, I put on my Instagram story. It kind of shocked me how many people were interested in doing it. We were talking like, I mean, the biggest thing with us, or one of the big things, is like we want to get to know other people. We want to meet other people. We want a bigger following, all the yada yada.
Engage with you.
Yeah, engage with you. And we're thinking like, what's a better way to do it than like just announce a time and a place and a date, obviously, and have you guys come out. You know, you come out, bring your sleds for free.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously. And come ride with us, and we're just going to like film, make a YouTube video. You guys can be in the video. You'll, you know, get to know us better, get to see what a full day on the snow is like with a bunch of idiots like us. And then same with you guys. We'll get to meet you guys better and stuff like that. Obviously the challenge is, you know, we have on Instagram speaking, we have followers from like 10 different countries. So obviously not everyone's going to be able to come to Colorado and ride, but there are a lot of people from Colorado, from our area, that we'd like to ride with that we've never even rode with. Like up till last year, I never even rode with AJ. So yeah. It would be cool to like have everybody out, you know, do some content, just BS, have a fire, you know, whatever we want to do. So that's in the works. If you guys are interested in that, to kind of push this thing, DM Cook Bros on Instagram, and we're going to try to get a date. We're supposed to already have one of those days set up,
but there's no snow to ride.
There's no snow.
Yeah.
I would like to go film people and, you know, film ourselves on snow and not on rocks. So that's in the works. So seriously, guys, DM us if you'd be down for that, if you'd actually make the trip out, because or maybe you live here. If you'd make the trip out, let us know. We had a lot of people say that they wanted to come, like a lot more than I thought would want to come. But the conversion of that, as you guys know with everything, is like a lot of people say they want to come, but not everybody is willing to load their sled up and drive 5, 10, 15 hours to come ride with a bunch of idiots like us. So, but yeah, let us know.
Yeah. And that's like Brent said there, we were looking at dates here within the next week or two to have it set up, but we don't have the snow to do that. But we could potentially do that and then just like break the world record of most bent A-arms in a day or wreck tunnels. If we could get
wow, that's a really good idea.
I mean, honestly, let's throw some money around, right?
Yeah.
No,
Who can break their sled first?
Well, we've done really good at that so far.
I already won that.
You're doing good. Well, question for you. Where are you at right now? Like, what are your thoughts content wise? Obviously we had big plans for this winter. It's not going that way. What direction, like, are you wanting to go? I mean, I know we've both kind of been in this like weird space lately of not knowing, but what was your intention before even knowing that, like where's Cook Bros going?
It's like back, like I was talking about earlier in the podcast, this whole thing kind of started as just like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Like let's keep track of the memories and stuff like that. But it's gotten, at least for me, it's gotten like more serious. Like I've seen some growth. I've been fortunate to be able to start working with companies and like kind of have some validity that some of this work is actually worth it. And so it's got like every year it's gotten more serious and more serious. And what comes with that, with just the type of person I am, is pressure. Like every year there's more pressure, more people watching, more people, expecting you to, post their stuff and, people are starting to watch, like, what are you guys riding? What are you doing? Which I love. That's why we started doing this. But it's gotten to the point where it's like, it's hard to be content right now when it's like, I feel like there's so much more potential for the page. And like the thing is when we started this podcast, for those of you who've been listening, like since we started it, I would always say like, I don't want to be just snowmobiling. Like I don't. But the thing is like living in a small town in the mountains in the wintertime, it's like, what else do you do? And so to answer your question, the content thing, I want to start getting more into like, and you guys are like, what the heck when I say this? I want to keep doing snowmobiling forever. Like that is my love. I love to snowmobile, but I would like to like branch out and do other content. Like even a podcast like this is fun for me where, we're talking about snowmobiles, but it's not based around snowmobiles. Like we're not teaching you anything about a snowmobile. So I'd like to branch out that way. And I'd like to start finding something, we've dabbled with dabbled a tiny bit with like razor content. Yep. Actually, that was like 3 pictures. That's not really razor content.
But I'm going to like just throw like one reel that you made was when you went to the basketball game thing.
Oh yeah.
I know nothing. I'm sorry.
The Denver Nuggets championship parade.
I was going to say Lakers. So at least I didn't.
The Denver Lakers.
Anyway, like that reel you went and made there, like I think that's the like most hyped I've seen you in the whole time I've known you. Like you can, not that you're like burnt out with this content, but like you were excited to see something different on your computer. Yeah. And you could tell like the energy you put into that and the effort was like substantial. Like, and I thought you did a very good job. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. Like I thought it was a great reel that you did.
That was one of those things, like sneaking a camera in there and like just seeing what happens,
Yeah. But I think that gave you a taste of like what something different was maybe.
Yeah. And a lot of it was like, a lot of content creators, they just like, I mean, let's face it, people with millions of followers film their stuff on a cell phone with like bad audio, and it's not like a production. But for me, it's like getting into this. I'm really passionate about, I don't know if you call it filmmaking, but I would probably call it filmmaking. Like, I like things, like I like to edit, I like to do all that. And I would like to start doing that more, like going on trips and doing a film about it and just stuff that like those people that don't snowmobile still can like, I can connect with more people that way. And for those of you guys who love snowmobiling, if you're watching this, you probably love snowmobiling. You guys can see something different because let's face it, I love snowmobiling, but I don't want to see snowmobiling 24/7, 365 days a year, like in the middle of June and July.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about razor riding or hunting or golfing, or, I'm not thinking as much about snowmobiling, but I will say snowmobiling crosses my mind probably at least once a day.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it could be middle of August, dying of heat stroke, maybe on a boat even. And I'm like, man, it'd be nice to be in some powder right now.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever had any.
But I just answering that question, where I see, isn't that what you asked? Where's the content coming? I just want to be I want to get better at content. And then I want to start branching out and doing different content instead of being a snowmobile guy, being an actual, what I would say I would consider myself a content creator right now.
Yeah.
But it's
snowmobile specific.
Under that it says snowmobile.
Yeah, there's an asterisk.
Yeah, it's I want to do something different. The hard part is being completely honest. When we have a following that all they follow us for is snowmobile stuff, and then you're trying to post hunting stuff, there's a lot of crossover that snowmobile guys hunt, but it's for whatever reason it's hard to get your content to do well, which is not the way you should look at it, but it's hard to get your content to do well, and which in return validates that it's good content in my head when it's not snowmobile content, because our snowmobile content does very well.
But that's our whole audience.
But our whole audience is snowmobilers. So it's it's finding that niche and building from the ground up, basically, if you think about it, building from the ground up a whole nother niche.
Yeah, you have to build an audience.
Yeah, a whole nother audience, starting from zero again. So that's kind of where I see the content going over the course of this next year. And
well, we've spent many nights talking about this, and our plan for this winter was to tell a story about us two at least, and then hopefully some friends joining in on the trips. But we were going to tell a story of two dudes that went out and rode different places. I mean, we were just going to go out and do it and tell our story and see if anybody enjoyed it. But we wanted to tell more than just the snowmobiling. Of course there was going to be snowmobiling in it, but we wanted to show when you're barely crawling into the hot tub because your back's sore. We were going to tell the story along the way, cooking a hot dog in the trailer because you're staying in the parking lot or whatever it may have been, right? We did have some very loose plans, but we have, and hopefully they're still going to happen. That is our goal. If we get some snow, that is the goal to make this happen. But I feel like we are trying to broaden our audience and tell more of a story.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is for me at least, is doing it with the people that, you want to do it with. Me and AJ do it all the time. We enjoy doing, the podcast and everything together. And it's I'd like my brother to do everything with us. I'd like Uncle Tony. His name's not Uncle Tony, but Uncle Tony, if you're listening, I'd like him to do everything with us and just kind of create that clan that people like to watch. Cause the way I look at it is, I'm dragging this on, but it's I want to be a content creator in some regard with all the homies around you, that's obviously the dream for a lot of content creators, is just with the fellas, just BS and making videos about it and just having a good time. So, and showing you guys we are, a lot of people think we're pretty funny.
Yeah.
When we're on the
entertainment.
Snow. We do entertain. So, or sometimes we entertain, but sometimes we disappoint.
Shit show too. But I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to entertain and bring you guys along for that laugh too. And I feel like it's doable. We just are lacking that energy right now. We just gotta.
It's hard. For those of you guys who are out there doing content, you probably understand what I'm saying. It's hard to get it's hard to do one certain type of content and you get pretty, or a lot better. I don't know if you call it good at it, but you get somewhat good at it, and it's hard to take a step back and then reposition yourself into something that A, you've never done, or B, your followers aren't into, or it's kind of a mind screw all the time, because it's that's what you really want to do, but it's also it sucks that you're it's I was saying, you're kind of starting from square one in a way,
Well, you're kind of stuck in my shoes in that point, and we just had this conversation, but I'm building an entire new page for this because it's going to have a better chance of going up and actually lifting. And if you want to break that down, definitely break that down. But I am going to build a snowmobiling audience, but you have a snowmobiling audience, but you want to have like a lifestyle, I guess, audience, more of a like whatever you're doing, whether it's the hunting, whether it's the razor, whether it's the snowmobiling, you want all three of those audiences in your group to where they're liking and engaging with your content. But right now you're such a specific snowmobile. I shouldn't say that. You have a pretty decent audience, I feel like, because with those things. Yeah. But to get to that next level, you got to break out of that little shell almost, right?
Yeah. And that's dude, I mean, it's hard. It's like, you guys, for those of you who ride, like, and you've tried to do content, you know it's actually pretty hard. Like carrying a camera on the back of your snowmobile, or even if you do it on your phone, it is like, you get up there, you don't want to film, you just want to ride. You don't want to edit when you get home. You're not consistent on social media. You're like, it's hard. It's a lot of things that, like, I mean, it's like I work 6 days a week and we'll stay up till 2 a.m, 4 nights out of that week to like try to get social media content up.
Yep.
It's tough. But the thing is like, I love doing it. Like when I started, it was like, let's see where this goes. Yep. And then it was just like, holy cow, I've been consistent at this for 3 years. We're starting to get like,
well, and that's
some big things. And it's just like, we're starting to, you guys will see. I don't know if when this podcast comes out, if it'll be out yet, but we're working with a pretty neat brand, that will not say, we're working with a lot of cool brands. Like, we picked up a lot of cool guys or cool brands that, have given us the opportunity, and none of that would have been possible without like, grinding social media content. So you guys will see some stuff coming from us, when it comes to that, but it's so hard. It's like, dude, I don't know. I'm just rambling right now, 'cause it's like, I don't even know what to say. It's just,
well, we don't know what we need to do. That's the problem, right? Like there's not an answer to what we have to do to make this work. But we have an idea of what we want, and we're going to throw everything at it to see if it sticks, right?
Yeah. And for those of you guys who think that, like, I mean, probably none of you think we actually have this thing figured out. But for those of you who do, who follow us on Instagram and stuff, it's like you're kind of seeing like the raw behind the scenes, like, truth of how this is not always fun and games. It takes a lot of work. And like, that's why I always say on the page, like, we really do appreciate everyone that follows us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate like the likes, the comments, the shares. Like, it means a lot to us, because this is like it's so much work. It's so much time. It's so much money. It all makes it worth it when like you guys, help us grow, validate ourselves, by like enjoying the content, like saying positive things, which is not normally it is normally the case, but dude, there's a lot of people out there, especially on YouTube, bro. Damn, they're brutal.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, damn,
rough crowd.
But yeah, for those of you guys starting social, it's like you're kind of seeing, like, you probably feel the exact same way. Like, you're confused, nothing is working. Just keep going. Like, I promise you, that's how I felt in the beginning. And I hope to look back at this podcast one day and be like, damn, dude, it all did work out.
It did work out.
Yeah. It will work out no matter what happens.
It's gonna work out.
Yeah, so
something's gonna happen. But
it's cool.
Yeah, and I like that. Like, we're headed in a direction, but we don't know what direction that is. And like, all you guys engaging with us is what feeds us to want to do this. And I don't know, like, it's hard to, that's the only motivation you get, I guess, right? Like, when you spend all that time editing it and then you post something and then you get like a like, or if it fails, then like, you're like, oh wow, I need to learn from that. But otherwise, I feel like when you get some likes, you get a bunch of shares. Like, I remember the first reel that I did, it like hit 3,000, and I was like, oh my God, like, that actually went somewhere. That was more than 50 people, right?
Yeah.
And I was like so excited. And now it's like you just keep chasing that. But it's not every single post, that's for sure. No. Like, and right now it seems like there's like a dead spot in our industry. Like, we're in a dead spot.
But
like.
It's kind of funny. It's like I was telling AJ the other day. It's like, what's crazy to me is I remember so vividly, I started this page in college, okay? And we struggled to get to 500 followers. Like, everyone's like, this kid's content sucks. Like, he's talking about snowmobiles, for God's sake, who cares? And you just keep going, like, for a year. And I remember hitting, like, we hit 500, and then we hit 1,000, and, like, dude, 1,000?
That was a big deal.
I was like, we are huge. Like, we are making it in this industry. I don't care what anyone says. Like, we are going to dominate the industry. At 1,000 followers, I thought that. And then you kind of get used to having 1,000 followers. And then it's like, and dude, 1,000 followers, I mean, that's like, you don't even have to post on Instagram. You probably know 1,000 people.
Yeah. Yep.
And then like, it was like 1,500 and then 2,000. And it took a long time. It was a lot of work and like a lot of like mental work. Like, it's going to be okay.
Think about, like, just with this podcast, how many nights we just sit up here in this garage and talk. I mean, kind of a little aimlessly about nothing, but like, we spend a lot of time talking about this in like the direction and what we're doing and everything like that. And like, you have to, like, that effort has to be put in to even see where it's going.
And the other thing about it is, like, it's hard to explain this, but it's like, you have to be, like, you cannot listen to what anyone says. Like, once you start posting a lot, people are going to hate all the time. You're going to go to a bar and they're going to be like, how's your little snowmobile page doing? Like, it's going to happen. Just so the difference to me is, like, can you take it and can you keep going? Or are you just going to give up because someone said that you look like an idiot on camera, which I do look like an idiot on camera, but I don't care.
It's fine.
Going back to the thing is, like, I got to like 5,000 and then, dude, I mean, I was lit at 5,000.
Oh yeah.
And then finally get to 10,000. And then, like, now we're at 24,000, which to a lot of people, like, yeah, that's still a small page. But to us, like, I'm pretty happy with it because of, like, kind of the exponential growth that we've seen now. And the reason why that's happening, in my opinion, is because now we're starting to learn content, like, understand kind of like tactics and stuff like that I didn't know when it was a struggle to get to 100 followers. I didn't know what people want to see. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do all that. So I feel like, kind of it's starting to become easier when it comes to, like, we're growing faster. It's more work than ever, but it's starting to grow faster. And it's because I've put in the time on, at least Cook Bros, to, like, I'm not giving up. I'm going to figure this out. And that goes for all of you. If you're just starting, don't quit, because it will pan out if you're smart and you will just stick at it and post every day for 3 years. Like, something's going to happen. Either you're going to go crazy because you're not going to gain any followers, or you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I was just telling AJ, everyone's like, the algorithm hates me. The algorithm hates me. It's like, no, bro, that algorithm doesn't hate you. You just don't know what to make. Like, you're just not making the right reels. And I'm not saying AJ was saying the algorithm hates me. I'm just saying, like, people say that.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can think that. It's easy to think that. Like, it would be really easy for me to think with my under 1,000 followers that I wouldn't stand a chance at having the reach that you do with 24,000. Like, if I posted a reel, I would not think that just because I don't have that many followers, I couldn't go viral. But from what I've learned from you is that I stand as good of a chance as you do, but I just have to make something worth going viral.
Yeah, and I think I have maybe a little bit better of a chance, like we were talking about. Like, I'm not going to get into that on this podcast because it'll be a 2-hour podcast, but we're just talking about it. It's like, I think the bigger pages do have a better chance, but I don't think it's as much of a chance unless it's like a famous person or someone that, like, no matter what they do, everyone likes it. I think that, like, with normal pages that are fairly decent in size, like you're saying,
it comes to content.
Yeah, it comes to, like, what is your content? And people be like, dude, I get freaking 40 views, you know?
Yep.
And you had a reel to hit, 400,000 or 1 million or 10 million or whatever. Like, how the algorithm just likes you and hates me. I'm like, dude, you've posted 4 reels. I've posted 400 reels. Like, I understand it a little bit better than you do. So But my point is, people, don't quit. Just keep going. It'll all be worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'm out of breath. I just ranted so hard to you guys. But
well, that's kind of where we're at in life, guys. Like, it is mentally tearing us down right now, just not being able to do what we like had planned and had. I mean, not just like we were not just planned, like we've put a lot of money in snowmobiles. Brent bought a trailer, like I bought a camera, like we invested heavily to make this happen this winter. And then we've just been sitting here waiting for snow. So like it has been just kind of a kick in the nuts, and just being 100% honest with you guys, like we're doing the best we can, and we just want to keep grinding with you guys and get it out there. So hopefully you'll sit in the seat and kind of enjoy the ride with us.
Yeah. And honestly, just thinking when you were talking there, it's like this podcast is probably not going to get a lot of views because, you know, it is what it is. But it's like the thing that I do appreciate what you just said and what I just said is the fact that we were brutally honest. Like, we didn't cap. We just told you like what we actually feel. Most people just cap and say their life is so great. When it comes to content, it's like, yeah, stuff's not going our way, but hopefully that changes around. So
yeah, we're out of content. We're out of like shit to talk about. Like, it's just like, you know, well, not like stuff to talk about like podcast wise, but it's like we're just out of exciting, like how many times
new
can you talk about? Yeah, exactly. We need something new to happen right now. Yeah. And we're just waiting on that to happen. So it'll come. It's happening. But at
the same token, I don't think we can let the lack of snow quit the content either.
No.
We're going to have to find a way. So
well,
that was kind of behind the scenes garage talk for you guys. So.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Something a little different. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more of it, let us know. If you hated it, let us know that too.
Tell us that. All right, guys. Cool. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Love you.
See ya.